Americans for free.
Right now on ABC 10 News at 4, President Biden unveils a new plan to combat COVID and get this pandemic under control as the Omicron variant spreads wider. One major part of that plan, millions of free at-home COVID tests for Americans. We're going to break down what else that plan includes. Plus, UC San Diego moving classes online for the first in 2 weeks of the new year. And we're going to check back in with a local teenager who is one of the first in her family to go to college. How her first year at Harvard has been. It's a story that is positively San Diego during our season of hope.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
Well, with just days until Christmas, President Biden unveiled a new action plan to battle the pandemic and the explosion of the current Omicron variant. It's now the dominant strain in our country. Thanks for joining us. I'm Steve Atkinson. A major part of the president's plan is 500 million free at-home COVID rapid tests for Americans. Those tests, they won't be available, though, until next month. But the demand for them is high right now as people get tested before seeing friends and family for the holidays. Our ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco joins us live at a testing site in Sorrento Valley where it's been busy all day, as you might imagine. Rachel?
Hi, Steve. This testing site actually just closed, but all day today, this parking lot has been filled with people who either wanted to get vaccinated or get tested. All of them looking for a little bit of peace of mind before the holidays. There are long lines at COVID-19 testing sites across the county. Laura Rogers wants to make sure she is safe to travel for the holidays.
I mean, obviously the spike in cases makes you a little bit more nervous to travel, but yeah, I would have gotten tested regardless. And it's super easy to get tested here.
President Biden promising it will get even easier by next month. The president announced Tuesday that the government will buy 500 million rapid home tests to distribute free to the public. People who want one will have to sign up on a website. The tests won't be available until January. The president also announced new federal testing sites will be set up and hundreds of vaccinators will be deployed around the country. He made yet another plea for people to get vaccinated and boosted as the highly contagious Omicron variant surges across the country.
The answer is straightforward. If you're not fully vaccinated, you have good reason to be concerned. You're at a high risk of getting sick. And if you get sick, you're likely to spread it to others, including friends and family. And the unvaccinated have a significantly higher risk of ending up in a hospital or even dying.
Health experts recommend anyone planning to travel or gather for the holidays get tested. The county has clinics set up all over San Diego. Pharmacies are selling rapid home tests, and mobile testing centers like this one in Sorrento Valley, all seeing a spike in demand.
We're seeing an uptick in positives. We're also seeing an uptick in people wanting to get vaccinated, which is really good news.
And even for the vaccinated, the president says breakthrough cases are inevitable.
Because Omicron spreads so easily, we'll see some fully vaccinated people get COVID, potentially in large numbers. There will be positive cases in every office, even here in the White House, among the vaccinated from Omicron. But these cases are highly unlikely to lead to serious illness.
As some people are having a hard time getting those rapid tests at area pharmacies, Walgreens and CVS just announced, according to the Washington Post in the last few hours, that they're going to limit the number that you can buy. It's going to be 4 per purchase at Walgreens, and you can get 6 tests at a time at CVS. Reporting live in Sorrento Valley, Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
I have some myself. All right, Rachel, thank you. In addition to the free at-home rapid test, the president's plan also includes the deployment of 1,000 service members and additional medical teams in January and February. They will be sent to hospitals in areas overwhelmed by this surge. The plan also includes expanding hospital capacity to create more beds, getting critical PPE and other medical supplies to states, and adding new pop-up vaccination clinics.
So starting this week, I'll be deploying hundreds more vaccinators and more sites to help get the booster shots in people's arms. I've ordered FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, to stand up new pop-up vaccination clinics all across the country where you can get that booster shot.
And the president's plan comes as the World Health Organization now suggests people either delay or cancel their holiday plans with Christmas just days away.
We spoke with former CDC director, Dr. Robert Redfield, who says testing is key in this pandemic. He now works with a public health firm called AMLLC that helps states with mitigation efforts like testing.
You need to know if you're infected or not. And we have to get expanded testing out there. So those of us that are currently infected pull ourselves out of the transmission pool. Those of us that aren't infected stay in school, stay in work, stay in society. So it's going to be so important.
The Kaiser Family Foundation estimates the country would need 2.3 billion tests a month to achieve the CDC's recommendation of testing everyone ages 12 and up twice a week. Now, Arizona State calculates the U.S. is currently able to conduct about 600 million tests a month. Even with Biden's announcement today, that still puts the U.S. shy of the recommended monthly testing number. Now, Redfield says it's important to remember all of the other options we have to mitigate COVID, along with what we can do to keep this winter from becoming worse, with flu cases on the rise again and Omicron spreading.
I think it's important just to come back and underscore that vaccines work. The COVID vaccine does work. It has a time warranty on it, though, and you got to keep it up. Flu vaccines, they do work. They're not the greatest. Their efficacy may be 50%, 40%, but it's better than nothing.
AMLLC also works with organizations to do contact tracing, which Redfield says is another important piece to COVID mitigation. The amount of time you need to quarantine after testing positive for COVID could be changing. Dr. Anthony Fauci says health leaders are considering reducing the 10-day recommendation, with infections increasing among fully vaccinated people. Fauci says reducing quarantine time would help asymptomatic people return to work or school with the proper precautions.
If you do have someone who's infected, rather than keeping them out for 7 to 10 days, if they are without symptoms, put an N95 mask on them, make sure they have the proper PPE, and they might be able to get back to work sooner than the full length of the quarantine period.
Fauci says the possible change is especially being considered for healthcare workers.
UC San Diego is going back to full remote learning for the first 2 weeks of its winter quarter, which starts January 3rd. The university is making that move out of what it's calling an abundance of caution. Our ABC 10 News reporter John Horn explains why that move is being met with mixed emotions.
UC San Diego has been holding lectures inside open-air tents like this one to keep students and faculty safe during the pandemic. But with the recent spread of COVID, even these tents aren't enough for everyone to come back on time for winter quarter.
Feels a little apocalyptic all over again.
Manu Agni thought the days of full remote learning were behind him and his fellow UC San Diego Tritons. Masks aside, fall quarter was almost back to normal.
Campus was packed. I don't miss waiting in line at the dining halls as long as before, but campus was nice and busy and lively, and we get to see all my friends, so that was a lot of fun.
But with concerns over a surge in COVID cases and the Omicron variant, UC San Diego is moving back to remote learning for the first 2 weeks of winter quarter, which starts January 3rd. The university says during that time, it will incrementally populate the campus using a more comprehensive testing regimen.
We recognize that it's based on science and that we're trying to be safe, but also it's a little bit of a bummer.
Each of the 10 UC campuses will decide how to handle the return of students after winter vacation. So, San Diegans home for break are facing their own uncertainty, like Ariel Powell, a sophomore at UCLA.
It makes it so much harder to learn through a screen, especially having those two classes compared to my one class that was in person. It's so different. Like, you really can't compare.
Powell says she hopes campus resources remain accessible in person, even if classes are online. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
We did reach out to the California State University system. As of now, CSU has no plans to make system-wide changes after the winter break, but of course we will monitor that situation. We have learned the U.S. has now reported its first confirmed death linked to the Omicron variant. That case was reported in Harris County, that's Texas, that's near Houston. The county health department says the person was a man in his 50s who was unvaccinated. Right now, the CDC reports that Omicron accounts for more than 73% of new COVID cases. Public health officials, including the Surgeon General, urge Americans to get vaccinated and to get boosted. Remember, you can track changes and the new developments in this pandemic with our ABC 10 News mobile app. It is free in the App Store.
Cost of living adjustments for union workers are making a comeback. Decades ago, when inflation was high, it was common to increase pay in order to compensate for price increases. But now, with inflation high again, at least 2 major labor agreements have recently included cost of living adjustments. Members of the United Auto Workers at John Deere will get their pay adjusted every 3 months to match inflation. Now, union workers at Kellogg are also expected to get cost of living adjustments. We hit a historic organ donation milestone this week in the U.S.
Middle of the night, I think I called John, crying, teary-eyed, and man, thank you for giving me my life back.
He's just one of the people whose life has been saved this year. The message for others thinking about organ donation.
Also coming up, people are preparing to hit the road ahead of the holidays, that is. Why some are choosing to travel by car instead of by plane, of course, as the Omicron variant spreads.
A historic milestone here in the U.S. For the first time ever, 40,000 organ transplants were performed in a single year in America, breaking the worldwide record. Advocates hope this helps showcase the need for organ donors.
Being in law enforcement was a dream of mine. That's something I always wanted to do.
19 and a half years of service as a South Carolina Highway Patrol trooper, filled with more monumental moments than Daryl Smith could have ever dreamed.
I always wanted to serve and protect.
In 2020, Daryl was at the height of his career, at the time assigned to hurricane duty, when he got an alarming call from his doctor.
He said, well, your reading went up to like an 11, your creatinine level. I said, okay, what does that mean? He said, you need to be on dialysis.
He needed dialysis because of his failing kidneys, which left him with few options. He endured months of intense treatments that forced him to eventually hang up his badge. But Daryl also shared his story online.
Very next night, I was getting all kind of phone calls, messages, people praying for me.
I told him I started the process. I sent him a message, told him that, if I was a match, he could have it.
John Doro, a state transport officer himself, had been in the same police academy class with Daryl back in 2003. After weeks of filling out paperwork to become a living donor, John called Daryl with exciting news.
Daryl, I got my phone call last night, and they told me I was a perfect match for you. I'm going to give you my kidney. I was like, oh my God. I was in shock. And we just celebrated and talked and just cried.
In May, John and Daryl went through the kidney transplant operation, together becoming part of a historic milestone.
This year we have surpassed for the first time 40,000 transplants in the United States.
A global record hit this week here in the U.S.
40,000 is a big number, and we kind of lose account of the fact that those represent individual lives.
I've never even thought about being a living donor. It wasn't until I saw what was going on with Daryl, saw the process he was going through.
7 months later, the brothers in blue now share a bond Daryl says he will forever be grateful for.
And I called in the middle of the night. I think I called John, crying, teary-eyed. I said, man, thank you for giving me my life back. I said, man, you just don't know how much of my life you gave back to me.
And even with such a huge milestone, the United Network for Organ Sharing reports at least 100,000 Americans are still waiting for a transplant. For more information on how to become a living donor, visit registerme.org.
We have our own great organization right here in San Diego, too. All right, we're learning more about repair work that will be done on the Ocean Beach Pier. It will be closed for the next few months for emergency repairs to finish fixing damage from nearly a year ago. It was closed at the time for months and partially reopened back in May, but the end of the pier, it remained blocked off. Repairs on that section are expected to take about 4 months and will cost about $450,000. Now, a city report released earlier this year said the pier suffered significant deterioration. Replacing it would cost around $60 million. The city is still considering long-term options after these repairs are completed. Further north up our coastline, crews will begin work to shore up Cardiff State Beach. This week, they will pump about 63,000 yards of sand from the San Elijo Lagoon. Caltrans and Sandag crews installed a conveyance pipeline that runs under the I-5 bridge to the beach. Work on that project will begin today. It's expected to be completed around March. This is part of Sandag's big Build North Coast Corridor, or Build NCC program that aims to improve much of San Diego's infrastructure and natural resources.
This 10 News Pinpoint Weather Report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air. Nobody wows clients like we do.
All right, if you're like me, you probably saw those clouds rolling in today. It's probably a sign of things to come, too.
I know. Even my son was like, Mommy, where's the sun today? So it's hiding by all the clouds and the storm that's on the way, just kind of bringing all those clouds ahead of the rain. It is going to be a very wet and unsettled end of the week, and this will continue right into the holidays. So let's get ready. 60 degrees as we look outside. A beautiful afternoon in San Diego. Those clouds in the downtown area just looking really pretty right now. The winds coming out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Temperatures actually about 2 to 4 degrees higher than yesterday. So there's a bit of a southerly flow that's warming things up just a couple of degrees. Not a huge warm up. All things considered, still a cool day in San Diego, and for a standard actually very close to normal for this time of the year. Travel weather seems to continue to be a problem across the East Coast, with heavy rain pouring from Georgia all the way into the Carolinas, and that same system is going to work its way into New England. As we look across the plains, actually the best place to be right now if anyone is going towards that area or coming from that region. It's nice and dry, but of course here in San Diego, a lot of clouds ahead of the rain that's already developing in the Bay Area, and it extends up into Washington State. Our chance will go up, and it looks pretty decent, especially on Friday. It looks like the timing is going to change just a tad, but only a minor difference in hours here. We're still looking at the bulk of it to be Thursday through Sunday, and it looks like most likely the heaviest rain will be late Thursday into Friday. So as we kind of go deeper into the timing of everything, these are back-to-back storms. The first wave Thursday into Friday, the second one Christmas Day into Sunday, with periods of heavy rain, possible flooding, damaging winds, and totals that will be very impressive of up to 2 inches for the coast and inland. And that's only taking into account the first wave into Friday. More rain is going to follow Saturday and Sunday, but most likely it's going to add maybe about a ½ an inch to an inch. But again, for San Diego standards, that's a lot. This is what it looks like for the end of the night on Thursday, and by 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, most areas could already have close to 2 inches of rain. In our 7-day forecast, temperatures will stay cool, actually dropping about 5 degrees as we go into Thursday. And for the holiday, rain with temperatures in the 60s. The only good thing about the rain for Christmas is that it's going to be just kind of steady, light rain. The heaviest, again, looks like Thursday into Friday for our mountains, potentially damaging winds Thursday and Friday with wind gusts of up to 50 and 75 miles per hour. Winds typically over 40 miles per hour could be damaging, bringing down trees and power lines. In the deserts, temperatures will go from 70s through Thursday to 60s Friday and into Christmas weekend.
Got to be a wet Christmas. All right, thanks a lot, Angelica, and we will be right back with more ABC 10 News at 4. Stay with us.
Skycam Views, sponsored by Carlsbad Solar.
Well, there's new government funding for the 988 suicide prevention hotline. To make it operational by July, $282 million will go toward the initiative. Advocates say this is a huge step with all the components needed to make the new 3-digit hotline a success.
We not only have to invest in the infrastructure to make sure the phones get answered, texts get answered, chats get answered, but for some people, they actually need help. Could you imagine calling 911 and only talking to an operator and not having police or ambulance or fire dispatched? And so there are going to be people who need behavioral health professionals to respond to them, and some people are going to need a place to go.
This is especially important as calls are expected to increase once the number is easier to remember. In South Carolina, they're expecting a 4 to 10% increase, but the state only has one center where calls are taken in from the Suicide Prevention Lifeline. Mental Health America of Greenville County says that means they would need to increase staffing by almost 500%. Now, in a statement to us, they applaud the new funding and say it's critical to make preparations for July. They say that it will, quote, help states bridge the gap to the finish line and save lives. But advocates say there needs to be a continued push for 988 past this new funding.
We're going to need continued interest and investment at the federal, state, and local level to realize the promise of 988, and that it's going to take time, right? 911 this didn't happen because Congress created 911. It took a lot of thought and planning and cooperation, and we're going to need the same thing for 988.
The current number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is on your screen. You can reach it at 800-273-8255. The FDA has approved the first injectable HIV prevention drug. Apretude is given every 2 months as an alternative to daily HIV prevention pills. Now, 2 trials found the newly approved drug is more likely to reduce HIV than the daily pills. A doctor with the FDA says this is especially helpful for people who face challenges taking a daily medication. However, the injection is more likely to cause side effects, including injection site reactions, headache, fatigue, backache, and rashes. It's not just a saying. Most of us really are more tired when we travel over the holidays. The science behind sleeping better when away from home.
Also coming up, we're going to check back in with that local teenager we first introduced you to last year, who is now a freshman at Harvard.
Wow, I'm here. I'm finally here. This dream has finally come true.
What a dream that is. Why this first-generation college student is still pinching herself. It's a story that's positively San Diego. And we have some breaking news. Governor Gavin Newsom just tweeted that tomorrow he will officially announce that all healthcare workers will be required to get the booster shot. Newsom says this is in response to the Omicron variant, and he says it will help hospitals prepare for the expected surge in cases. Of course, stay with ABC 10 News as we look for more details into this announcement. In the meantime, despite the rise in COVID cases, this year is expected to be the 3rd busiest holiday travel season on record. That's according to AAA. The Auto Club predicts nearly 8 million Southern Californians will hit the road, but they'll also be paying high prices at the pump, at least here in California. ABC 10 News reporter Sierra Encinas spoke to travelers who say they're not deterred by that.
Thousands of Southern Californians are expected to fill up before they hit the roads this holiday season, and a few travelers I spoke to say their pockets weren't hurting as bad as soon as they left the state of California. It was a busy day at San Diego Car Care, a full-service gas station off the 52. Among the crowd of customers gassing up, Dave Easteridge. He hit the road for Thanksgiving.
Once you get out of California, the gas prices drop significantly. So it really isn't too much of a burden on your wallet as far as gas prices.
He drove from San Diego to Colorado, and while the Omicron variant spreads quickly throughout the country, he says that didn't impact his decision to get behind the wheel rather than fly.
There's more experience out on the road than flying. You can stop whenever you want. You can eat at different locations.
He isn't alone. Incoming traveler Wayne Imes feels the same. He made his way from St. Louis.
I have a little granddaughter who, if I didn't come, would not be happy.
Imes says he was shocked when he got to San Diego.
On the way out here, it was pretty consistent. It's about 280 until I hit California. And when I got to San Diego is when I looked up and saw, wow, $5 a gallon is pretty shocking.
AAA says the average price of gas in California is about $4.66 per gallon. Sierra Encinas, ABC 10 News.
Also tonight, we are learning more about a fatal wrong-way crash in Ocean Beach. This happened last night on the 8 West near Sunset Cliffs Boulevard. A man driving a blue Subaru was heading the wrong way on the freeway and collided head-on with that Toyota Camry. The woman driving the Camry died. Authorities say the man was rushed to the hospital with major injuries. He was also arrested on suspicion of DUI. Neither his name nor the victim's name have yet to be released. The House Select Committee investigating the deadly January 6th Capitol riot is seeking information from a fellow member of Congress, Republican Congressman Scott Perry of Pennsylvania. This marks the first time the committee is seeking information from a sitting member of Congress as part of this investigation. But so far, he's refused to be interviewed or to turn over any documents to the committee. He called the panel, quote, illegitimate. Committee member Adam Kinzinger says it's possible that some of his GOP colleagues are responsible for January 6th and says the panel is not ruling out issuing subpoenas for sitting members of Congress.
Nobody, member of Congress, former president, nobody in America is above the law.
In an op-ed in the Washington Post, several former high-ranking generals say though a coup was averted in 2021, they're now afraid a future attempt will be successful, aided by members of our current military. As the anniversary of January 6 nears, they're urging the military, lawmakers, and the Department of Justice to take decisive action. Jury deliberations, they resume today in the manslaughter trial of the former Minneapolis police officer accused of murdering Dante Wright. The core of the case hinges on the jury's interpretation of Kim Potter's fatal action during a traffic stop back in April. Her defense attorneys say that Potter confused her firearm for her taser and that she was justified in using deadly force because she feared Wright would hurt another officer as he drove away. The prosecution told the jury during closing arguments that the case is straightforward and that it's about what they call reckless handling of a firearm and culpable negligence by Potter.
Responsible officers know not to blindly draw their weapons and press the trigger. And responsible officers are acutely aware of the risks of getting it wrong.
The judge told the jurors they must keep deliberating after they ask what they can do if they can't agree on verdicts. The judge also says she doesn't want to keep this jury over the holidays, so if they haven't reached a verdict by Thursday, they will return to deliberation room Monday. They've been fully sequestered. A long-awaited plan to make Barrio Logan safer and healthier is now a law. Mayor Todd Gloria signed the Barrio Logan Community Update Plan today. It includes an agreement to preserve the working port and protect residents from poor air quality and noise from the maritime industry. A 65-acre buffer zone will be created between heavy industrial uses and neighbors. The plan also includes rent protections for long-standing residents, and it requires all new housing developments have 15% of their units set aside for affordable housing. That's 5% higher than other areas of the city. We have full details on the plan on our website at 10news.com. A South Bay teenager is one of the first in her family to attend college, and she aimed high with the Ivy League. Azul Amarillo, who we first featured last May in our senior spotlight, graduated from Southwest High School as the valedictorian. And our ABC 10 News reporter Steve Smith talked to the Harvard freshman during this season of hope about how she feels right now to attend a school once considered a long shot.
Southwest High School alum Azul Marmolejo is all about hard work in the classroom as well as devotion to community involvement. And those are just two of many reasons why she is now a freshman at Harvard.
Transition has been difficult, but I think that everything is paying off little by little, and I am excited to have been able to found a strong community here and being able to find new people and get to meet new friends, and that's been very rewarding.
Azul says that while classes are obviously tough, it is Harvard after all. The one thing that has stood out during her freshman year is the diversity and perspective she has found on campus.
Seeing so many students from so many different backgrounds, from so many places from around the world, and being able to share the space with them and share my perspectives while at the same time learning from their perspectives and sharing ideas is just something amazing that I was not expecting to see.
Now, she admits that when she applied to colleges last year, Harvard wasn't really in the plan. But now she's there and at times has to pinch herself. She still finds it hard to believe.
Every time I wake up in the mornings, it's like, wow, I'm here. I'm finally here. This dream has finally come true.
Azul is a first-generation college student and calls being at Harvard an accomplishment that dreams are made of, both for her and her family.
I do this for myself, and it's been my dream, but I also think it's a dream of my family. So just being able to work hard for my dreams and also theirs, I think makes me really proud. And hopefully it makes them proud too, you know.
I'm Steve Smith, ABC 10 News.
Now, Azul does have an interest in pre-med, although she has not decided as of yet on a major. Out of the classroom, her biggest thrill was attending the football game between Harvard and Yale.
Starting tomorrow, the National Hockey League is pausing the season 2 days before its planned Christmas break. Now, this comes as teams have had to postpone games because of COVID. Players are set to report back to team facilities on Sunday and resume daily testing. Meanwhile, the NFL has changed its testing procedures. It's reducing testing for vaccinated players who are asymptomatic. The move aligns with guidance from the CDC. The NFL previously required vaccinated players to get tested weekly. Currently, almost 95% of NFL players and nearly all coaching staffs are vaccinated. Restaurants are nervous for what's to come in the second winter of the pandemic. With surging COVID cases, some worry about restrictions returning. Things like reduced dining capacity or no indoor dining at all. Many are also still feeling the worst of the labor shortage with no end in sight. A recent survey from the National Restaurant Association shows 77% are short-staffed. Many workers went back to school during the pandemic and don't have plans to return to the industry. Nearly all of our bikes aren't made in the U.S. It's an issue that's been particularly apparent during the pandemic. But bringing production back here isn't as easy as you may think.
When an industry leaves a country completely, it's really hard to fire that back up. It's not just like turning a machine back on.
How his business is finding a way to make bikes in the U.S. again. We've told you a lot about the bike shortage created by the pandemic and made worse by supply chain shortages. That's because nearly 99% of the world's bikes are made in China. Alexa Liaco found even when one American company decided to bring manufacturing back home, it was tougher than they expected.
This place has people who know how to manufacture. If there's any part of the country that could bootstrap together a place to do this, it might be here.
In Motor City, a city known for Henry Ford, is a factory producing
frame is complete
pedal power.
That's kind of where my heart is. I like the idea of you powering, your vehicle. Are you onto mediums today?
Zachary Pashik founded Detroit Bikes 10 years ago with one goal.
The hope is that there's an advantage to domestic production.
He's fighting to bring bike manufacturing back to the United States.
This is really about the American middle class. We need to have this kind of work here.
30 years ago, companies sent bike production mostly to Taiwan and China to cut costs. Then in 1996, the U.S. eliminated bike import taxes, giving even more reason for production to remain overseas. President Trump did reinstate the tariff, but it hasn't yet been enough to create a large-scale shift in production.
When an industry leaves a country completely, it's really hard to fire that back up. It's not just like turning a machine back on.
Zachary has struggled to even find machinery in the United States.
I now have to go over there to even get the machinery, so I've got this domestic production facility now, and my machinery is in Mandarin.
So, with machines from China, Detroit Bikes is building bike frames from scratch here in the United States.
So this is the raw material input. Some policymakers might really believe that people don't want to do this work in this country, but I think that they're wrong. I think that if they came to a city like Detroit, they would find that this is work that people really do want. They're very proud of this work when they do it.
It's kind of neat, really. You know that you did it, and somebody's enjoying your work.
It's work bringing skilled labor jobs back into this community.
I like to see bicycles being made in the U.S. again, and Detroit even better because that's where I am.
And you make the best bikes?
Oh, yes, in my opinion.
The team has to use parts from overseas to assemble the bikes once their American-made frames are finished.
If I wanted to buy a tire in America, I couldn't. America does not currently make bicycle tires at all.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that's sort of the thing that makes this business difficult.
But Zachary hopes change is on the horizon.
That's always been a challenge. Being the first kind of company or person doing something has a lot of limitations that come with it. But I think over time that'll change.
It's a change that may take generations.
You can't really avoid a global supply chain completely right now.
But a change Zachary believes will leave this nation not only with more success, but with more community.
What we're trying to do is kind of just chip away at it and bring what we can back. And there's just something really satisfying about that, knowing that this building, produced an object that's going to go to somebody they're going to cherish and, have that connection with.
I'm Alexa Liaco reporting.
Alexa, thank you for that report. Family members of the first and only all-black woman unit to be deployed overseas during World War II are hoping their loved ones will finally be recognized.
I wish she would have been here, but I know she would still think there's much ado about nothing. But, I wish she would have been here for this.
The unit's contributions that could help them receive our nation's highest honor.
This 10 News Pinpoint Weather Report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air. Nobody wows clients like we do.
All right, if you're joining us from out of town, yes, most of the time we are sunny and 72 to 76. This is unusual, but we need this rain.
I like that we have to do that.
Yeah.
I know there's probably a lot of people in town going, where is the sunshine? Where is sunny San Diego? Well, sadly, it's not going to be that way, but it's actually good for our groundwater. We need rain, and it's coming this week. We're going to see a lot of it, probably more than we've seen in the last couple of months combined. So it is going to be a lot. All righty, let's take a look outside. A beautiful sky, and on